Welcome to my channel Medical Biology. Today I will be discussing about diabetic complications. Diabetic complications are basically divided into two types: acute metabolic complications and late systemic complications. Acute metabolic complications consists of diabetic ketoacidosis, hyperosmolar non-ketotic coma, and hypoglycemia, while late systematic complications include atherosclerosis, diabetic microangiopathy, diabetic nephropathy, diabetic neuropathy, diabetic retinopathy, and infections. So, diabetic ketoacidosis is one of the acute complications. It is exclusively complication of type 1 diabetes mellitus. It is developed in patients with insulin deficiency and excess glucagon. Insulin deficiency causes lipolysis leading to ketoacidosis. Clinically, the patient presents with anorexia, nausea, vomiting, deep and fast breathing, mental confusion, and coma, while ketoacidosis is recoverable. Second acute complication of diabetes is hyperosmolar non-ketotic coma. It is the complication of type 2 diabetes mellitus, and it has intense glucosuria and inability to maintain body fluid. It is extremely high blood sugar levels and high osmolality. It has a very high mortality rate. Third acute complications of diabetes is hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia may cause HAAF, that is hypoglycemia associated autoimmune failure, namely permanent brain damage, or worsen diabetic control and rebound hyperglycemia. So now we are going to discuss about late systemic complications. One of the late systemic complication is atherosclerosis. It leads to coronary and peripheral vascular disease, and many will have myocardial infarctions and lack of blood flow due to extremities causing cerebral stroke and gangrene of toes and feet. Contributory factors are hyperlipidemia, reduced HDL level, non-enzymatic glycosylation, increased platelet adhesiveness, obesity, and hypertension in diabetes. Second late complication is diabetic microangiopathy. There is increased glycosylation of hemoglobin and other proteins. Collagen and basement membrane causes increase in thickness of basement membrane of small blood vessels, capillaries of different organs, tissues, namely skin, skeletal muscles, eye, and kidney. Basement membrane like deposition in non-vascular tissues such as nerves, renal tubes, and Bowman's capsule. Third late complication is diabetic nephropathy. It leads to renal failure. Many end up on dialysis. There are 4 types of lesions: diabetic glomerulosclerosis, vascular lesion, diabetic pyelonephritis, tubular lesions. Fifth is diabetic neuropathy. It causes damaged nerves, decreased sensation, or give dysfunctional sensation, especially in lower extremities. Characteristically, symmetrical nephric peripheral neuropathy is seen, and it is caused by segmental demyelination, Schwann-Schell injury, and axonal damage. It can also be caused due to diffused microangiopathy or accumulation of sorbitol and fructose as a result of hyperglycemia, leading to deficiency of myoinositol. Next one is about diabetic retinopathy. Diabetic retinopathy is a retinopathy which is damaging of the retina caused by complication of diabetes mellitus, which eventually leads to blindness. It is an ocular manifestation of systematic disease which leads to 80% of all diabetic patients. So, in diabetic mellitus consists of hyperlipidemia, hyperglycemia and basement membrane thickening. So hyperlipidemia causes damage of the retina and iris, while hyperglycemia leads to lens defect and basement membrane thickening leads to arteriosclerosis. Next is non-proliferative diabetic retinopathy. It is also called as NPDR. This is a more common form of diabetic retinopathy. New blood vessels aren't growing, that is proliferating. The walls of the blood vessels in eyes are weakened. Tiny bulges, that is microaneurysms, protrude from the vessel walls of the smaller vessels, sometimes leaking fluid and blood into the retina. Larger retinal vessels can begin to dilate and become irregular in diameter as well. NPDR can progress from mild to severe as more blood vessels become blocked. Nerve fibers in the retina may begin to swell. Sometimes the central part of the retina, that is macula, begins to swell, also known as macular edema, a condition that requires treatment. Diabetic retinopathy can progress to more severe type known as proliferative diabetic retinopathy. In this type, damaged blood vessels close off, causing the growth of new abnormal blood vessels in the retina and can leak into the clear jelly-like substance that fills the center of the eye, that is vitreous. Eventually, scar tissue is stimulated by the growth of new blood vessels, may cause the retina to detach from the back of eye. If the new blood vessels interfere with the normal flow of fluid out of the eye, pressure may build up in the eyeball. This can damage the nerve that carries images from your eye to your brain, that is optic nerve, resulting in glaucoma. So, thank you so much for listening to my channel, Medical Biology. Thank you.